Hey guys, Sandy here. I am still bringing you along on my scrapbook room kind of go through and clean out. And now I'm going to be doing my ribbons and my fabricy things. I have them kind of dumped in a couple places. I have this tote, I have this tote, and I also have this plastic bin over here. Now this has some tulle in it, and I do keep my tulle separate, so I already know that this is not where it should be. So we're going to put that with the tulle because I have a bin that is just tulle. I'll show that to you guys. It is this large tote. To be fair, there is like a burlap in here, but I consider that tulle. There is lace tulle in here. So any tulle lives in this tote over here. So look at that. We're already fixing things of where they should be. Right? So we're going to put the tulle away because now we're not even 30 seconds in and we're already getting stuff done. Okay guys, so I'm going to go through this, get it all cleaned out, figure out what I want to do with it all, whether if I'm keeping it or getting rid of it. I actually used to have this big white vase looking thing that just had tons of ribbon just shoved in it, and I got rid of all that ribbon. I didn't even go through it. It's been like that for years, and I was like, nope, I haven't touched this in a good 10, 12 years. I don't need it. So I kept it because it was pretty. It's gone. But now let's get into this. So let's see what I can do. All right, guys, so I am just going to show you what I'm thinking. I have these two clear bins, and these are actually what the ribbons end up staying in. So that is pretty exciting. I am not really going by color or anything like that. I'm kind of going by size and the way that the ribbon feels. These are more, dare I say, natural feeling ribbons, and I know that that sounds really weird and really stupid when I've got pearl ribbon on here, but it's the way that it feels and matches in my head. Like, these are more fabricy than ribbony. And then I'm like, okay, I think I've found all of my fabricy ribbons, and now I just need to start putting in the rest of the ribbons. So I'm going to do that. Now, I like the fact that these are in clear bins, you guys. That means I can easily look at them. And when IKEA finally has my Calyx shelves back in stock, I went to IKEA a while ago and got 3 or 4 of them, and I should have bought more, but I didn't. And they showed in stock. Went to IKEA with Lana while she was here, and by the time I got to the IKEA, they were completely sold out, and it said would be back in 2 weeks. And it's been about 2 weeks, and it just says out of stock now. So who in the world knows what is going on? I check it every single day just to see. Because also IKEA is dropping their 5% discount for being an IKEA family member. That happens on February 1st. So I was kind of hoping I could get those shelving inserts before that happened. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So I am going to go ahead and place the ribbons down. As you can see, I have ribbons that are still in their plastic packaging. I have ribbons that I have not even used. I did kind of go through like a little bit of a 90s scrapbooking revival, and where I was using lots of fabric and things, and I stopped. And the reason why I stopped was because the ribbon was tucked away and I couldn't see it, and I didn't even think about it. So I am a person that likes to see the things, right? In my dream scrapbook room, I kind of feel like things will be behind cabinets, but what I want to be able to do is pull the cabinets out and slide them into the cupboard itself. And I think that that would be really, really awesome for my scrapbook room, right? Like, that's what I want to be able to have easy access, and I want the doors to kind of slide inside themselves so I can see everything. Because when I come into my scrapbook room and I see everything, I get happy. Like, I like seeing my stuff. I like touching my stuff. I like going through my stuff. But there are times where I'm sure where I would wish that the stuff was covered. You know what I mean? So I have also this 31 tote bag that has been holding sort of threads and ribbons and those kind of things for many, many years. And I do mean years. It held it the entire time we lived in California. And I'm pretty sure it held it before we lived in California too. And we lived there about 8 years. So this has been the way I stored this stuff for a long time. But it's not really working for me. I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, you get to a certain point where things work for you, and then you have things that don't work for you. And this is one of those things that does not work for me. I didn't used to mind flipping through. I used to keep ribbons in color order in here. And then I would just grab whatever kind of color I wanted. But now when I think about I want ribbon or, you know, some twine or something like that on the page, I immediately think I want ribbon. So I go and I see what ribbon I have, what will work with the page. I don't sit there and say, I want green ribbon, and then I go to the green and find the green ribbon. I would much rather think about just like, I want ribbon, and then whatever one strikes me as something awesome. Because sometimes now when I do that, I can look at a layout and go, I want some ribbon there. And there's been times where I'm just looking at the ribbon, really easily to do in these clear totes, by the way. And I'm like, oh, this would go good. I could partner this with some washi tape and this would be fantastic. So I feel like not sorting this stuff in rainbow order has kind of opened up my creativity a little bit with it. And that might change, right? Like, for a long time, I thought about, I want green ribbon. And then I went and found a green ribbon. But my thought process has changed over the years, and this is what is working now for me. And I am excited to, you know, discover new ways that my brain thinks while I'm scrapbooking, and how I am going to transfer that into organization and storage for my room so that it makes sense, right? Like, I love scrapbooking. I love organizing scrapbooking supplies. I love touching scrapbooking supplies. Like, they're all good things to me. And I'm just kind of making it happen. Now, I do have a lot of ribbons and twines and things like that that are no longer on spools, or did not come on spools to begin with. So for those, I'm going to leave them. I'm not going to create some sort of new spool thingy. I've tried it all. I've tried clothespins. I've tried the little mini Ziploc bags. I've tried, what is that? Like embroidery thread thingies that you wrap around. I've tried chipboard. I've tried, you name it, I've tried it, and it just works better for me to just put it in here and let it do its thing, and it'll be a little bit of a messy state within the ribbons, but I'm okay with that because of the way I think about ribbons now versus what I used to think about them. I hope that makes sense, because I think a lot of the times like this happens to me. I see a really great storage solution, right? Like I love watching organization videos too on YouTube, by the way. And I'm like, oh, that is cool. That is awesome. I love that. That is like, look how pretty that is. Look how organized that is. You can just look and grab and all this. But in reality, it doesn't match the way I think about my supplies, and it doesn't match the way I think about my scrapbooking. So there have been times where I have tried organizing systems and ways to do things, and they are fabulous and they work for many, many people, but they don't work for me. I know that people have like color drawers or color binders or color boxes, or just like everything that color is in that storage component, and I don't think like that. And I tried doing that once, and it was all kinds of a big mess, and I couldn't scrapbook, and I couldn't find what I wanted, and I was like, well, here is this thing in this color, but I don't want it in this color. Do I have it in another color? And then I'd have to go dig through like all of the colors, and it just was stressful. right? Like, I don't even keep paper scraps because they stress me out. So why in the world would I organize something in a way that causes me stress and doesn't allow me to create, right? Like, why, if it doesn't have the functionality, then why would I do it? So these bad boys, this is Magic Mesh. Do you guys remember when Magic Mesh was all the rage tons of years ago? So I kept it, except I'm not keeping the Magic Mesh or the crepe paper I have, or the actual drywall tape, the little roll that I have left over there. I'm not keeping that with the ribbons. That is now in a little tote all by itself with like patches and felt pieces and random wild weirdo embellishments. That's all living in its own place now, so that it doesn't confuse me when I'm looking at the ribbons. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I also put those chenille pipe cleaners in this section, and the Tim Holtz thing paper that went somewhere else too. I don't know exactly where, but it did go somewhere else. And then I have like these big ribbons and stuff that are actually going to go into the ribbons. I think I might be coming on here in a little bit to tell you some updates with this stuff. I hope I am. I filmed this a couple of weeks ago, guys, and I'm trying to get all of my video content like kept up, like caught up. So that is what I'm doing. So as you can see, I've got all this weird stuff that was in with the ribbons, and there is the basket that I am going to use. So I'm like, nope, that doesn't need to be in a plastic thing. I need to be able to see it and get to it. So it is going in this gray basket, and it does go on an embellishment cart that I have. So there is that. All right, guys, so I'm going to walk you through what I ended up doing. Now, this is a basket that is at the bottom of one of my embellishment, and the only embellishment cart, I guess, that I have, a Raskog. This is fabric-y stuff that really doesn't fit with my ribbon and stuff. Does that make sense? So I've got these chenille stems. I've got Magic Mesh. Do you guys remember that? Colored drywall tape. I just can't get rid of it for some reason. It doesn't take up that much space. I'm not worried about it. I've got these felt hearts, fuse tool things, some crepe wrap, and that Tim Holtz stuff. So this is going to live down there at the bottom of my cart, and I'll just know that that weird fabric-y stuff is down there. Now these are going to be my ribbon bins. I have had all kinds of ribbon storage, all kinds of different ribbon ways, and I've wrapped it on clothespins. I've put it in little Ziploc baggies. I've had it in jars. I have ribbon spool organizers that I actually just got rid of when we finally moved here. I had those for 15 some odd years, and nothing ever really worked. Yeah, I don't like ribbon being out. It's not very pretty to look at unless it's kind of jammed up, or, you know, I just don't like it. So these two clear bins are what I'm going to put it in. As you can see, a lot of this ribbon is newer because I've picked it up on clearance at Hobby Lobby and I worked there. I've got a few things in here that aren't in spools. They're little bags and stuff. So this is the very few ribbon that I've kept over the years. So yeah, I also have the twine, which I'm just popping down on top of here. I think if I go to look at my ribbons and I pull this out, this isn't going to be a lot to have to work through. And then I have these really old sticky stitches, and I wish they had a date. 2003. Does this have a date on it? No, but it's from Colorbach. So I have had these for a hot minute as well, but I like them, and I'm not going to get rid of them because I like them. And that's all there is to it. So I'm going to put those in here as well. Now these will go on one of my IKEA shelves that have a a twofer on it. So you know when you have your box, your IKEA box, they now sell those shelves that you put in the center, so you could stack these on top of each other without having to do it like this. But I need another one of those. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them currently. I thought 4 was going to be enough, but apparently not so much. So I'm going to grab another one of those. Lucky for me, I have an IKEA that is pretty close by. But this is going to be my ribbon. I think that this will work. I hope it will work. Fingers crossed it works. I like it now. So that is that, you guys, and we are done with the ribbony and fabric stuff. The tulle is going to stay in its container. I really like it the where it is. I did add the tulle circles. I don't know if you saw them. They were in a bag. I put them in with the tulle, and I put that big long fake gold leathery looking stuff in with the tulle too, because I feel like if I'm going to look for something that is a longer thickness, like the tulle and the burlap and stuff I have, I'm more likely to use it if it's in that section than I am if I'm going to use it over here with the ribbons and things that are a lot smaller. So there that is, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again real soon for another video.